Hello everyone, thanks for pressing play. You are watching a new episode of ExcaliburCCGTV. We are ExcaliburCCG.com, Excalibur Comics, Cars, and Games here in Shreveport, Louisiana and in Texarkana, Texas. As always, my faithful companion, Randy, is here. I am Chris. We are here to talk to you about awesome comics hitting the shelf for June 25th, 2014. Are you ready, sir?
Sure. Let's go.
Guys, we got a bunch of storylines we're going to cover. A few number ones, not quite so big on the number ones this week.
Not a whole lot.
So we're going to kind of make up with that with some of our favorites that we love talking about. Got a question of the week for you that I think will jog your thinking, maybe get you thinking a little bit deeper about comics, but there's no guarantee. And anyway, that's it for this week, guys. Also, listen, guys, sometimes I mention it, sometimes I don't, but this is a longer episode. If you want to listen to us on the go, the MP3 is down below in the description box below. Just click down there. It'll take you to our website where you can go and download the MP3, put it on your device, be off and running, and listen to the show on the go. And that's it, guys. Let's move on to starting off with the episode here. Quick question. Did we have what I love, what I hate for this week? No?
No, we don't.
Okay. All right, guys. Moving on to storylines hitting the shelf this week. What would you like to start off with, sir?
We have the big Wolverine event continues on with 3 Months to Die. Wolverine number 9, part 2 comes out here. This right here, we finally see Wolverine. He's having to face his future. And he's doing this while he's in Japan. Everything seems to be catching up to him here. I guess all points are coming to a head with this, and it doesn't look good for Wolverine. So there may be some death involved with it when we're talking about 3 months to die.
Exactly. And supposedly he's supposed to, so we will see with this storyline. What kind of play on words they're actually throwing at us with this. So
yeah, they keep on saying Wolverine. So do you go, well, the Wolverine character, but Logan lives? We'll see what exactly goes on.
You're right. That's a good point. Moving on, guys. Batman number 32 hits the shelf this week. This is the penultimate issue of the 0-year storyline. And for those of you not used to $5 words, that just simply means this is the next to last issue of that story arc. But guys, it's been a great story arc so far. I have enjoyed it from beginning to end. There was a little bit of a lull in some spots, but especially with this last story, this last part of the arc that has started up, Capullo and Snyder have been knocking it out of the park. I'm really excited to see where it's going to go from here and what's going to happen afterwards, after this storyline is over. I haven't really looked too far ahead for interviews or anything to see what's going on afterwards. I've really just been involved in this storyline, so I've been digging it.
Yeah, we don't know because they have the September event of month coming on after this storyline.
So here we go. We'll see what's up with that.
Yeah. We also have last of the events here. Original Sin has a few tie-ins. Fantastic Four finally gets into the mix with number 6.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody has one, and there's some secret there. Everybody's, since the eye went pop, everybody has figured out certain sins. And then we have Original Sins number 2. I believe that this one, it says everybody has one, but I believe that you have down one of the stories. I think that it's going to be 2 stories, and I think that one of them is a recurring Young Avengers story throughout.
Oh, okay.
I think so.
Okay.
But the other one happens to do with Tony Stark and possible tie-ins to the origin of Bruce Banner and the Incredible Hulk.
Right.
So.
And that's Original Sin 3.1. From what I saw with the solicitation, they're doing Wade and Gillen, and apparently even Mark Bagley are doing a short mini-series called Original Sin 3.1. I'm not sure if it's 2 or 3 issues, but this is a storyline focusing on Bruce Banner and Tony Stark, and like Randy said, how Tony Stark may have been involved with the origin of the Hulk. So we'll get to find out more of that.
Okay, that's, yeah, you have 3.1, which I glossed over, I missed. There's Original Sins number 2.
Yeah.
So there are 2 Original Sin books, guys. That's how confusing this is getting. Original Sin 3.1, which deals with Tony Stark, Bruce Banner, origin.
Right.
And Original Sins number 2.
Yeah.
The last one, the first issue was Deathlock and then a story with the Young Avengers. This one may still be going on with that. I don't know. It's just everybody has one. So thanks, Marvel, for making this so clear and easy to follow.
That's why we're here, folks. We try to straighten it out for you.
Yeah, because just wait, we get to the original Sins 5.1 and 2 and 3. It just keeps going on and on and on.
But guys, tons of stuff there for storylines for you to check out. And if you're reading these storylines, especially the extra original Sin stuff, tell us below in the comments. I want to know what you're thinking about what's going on. And we had another big reveal at the end of the last issue of Original Sin that just came out, number 4, if I'm not mistaken. So, tell us what you think about that in the comments below. We'll be interested to hear what you think of that. Moving on, we've got some new number 1s that we're going to be covering. Let's see here. We got one that's actually a faux number 1, but it's still
before we get into that.
Oh yeah. Question of the week. I'm sorry.
Guy's all off.
I am way off, man. Sorry, guys. Question of the week before we get into the new number 1s. I thought of this and it came to me here recently. I don't know specifically why or what triggered it, but it did. Something just happened where I thought about this, and I was just this should be a good question of the week. My question of the week for you guys is this. What is the one thing, maybe 2 things, but what is the one thing you think is missing from comic books nowadays? What do you think is missing from the way that characters are being portrayed, the way stories are being written? I mean, any aspect of comics nowadays. What do you think is missing? What do you miss the most from comics that maybe you felt or had years ago, but you're not really feeling it or seeing it now? So just to sum it up, what do you think is missing from comics now? And that's the question of the week. I want to know what you guys think. So, got any ideas, Randy?
For me, and it's a problem that I see DC and Marvel both have. They, I guess they've been trying to do this more realistic side of of how the characters are going to act in situations, and I'm old school. I don't read comics so much for realism. They're a form of escape for me, and so I like that characters are representatives of ideals, and so a lot of times the way the characters act in the stories aren't what I've come to know those characters to be, and so I feel like you're missing part of this almost heroic aspect to characters, this ideology that they should be standing for. Instead, you have a darker Superman or a darker Captain America or a disillusioned Captain America, and that shouldn't be the case. So you had those moments where Cap becomes disillusioned by something, but then he takes a Easy Rider approach. He goes out on the motorcycle and discovers America, and when he comes back, he's refreshed and he's got this ideal again. And you just don't really see something like that right now, and I really feel like that's lacking, because it's one of those things where I think it does teach a certain sort of lesson to you, and you hold these characters in a certain regard because of that. So that, to me, is one of the big things that's missing from comics.
Randy and I have not talked about what our answer would be, but you almost hit the nail on the head for me. The 2 main things that I'm missing, they kind of go hand in hand, is I feel like I'm missing inspiration.
Yeah.
And
that's
genuine heroism.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm missing that. It is a lot of this gritty, dark, realistic type stuff. And even with like what's going on with books that in the past for me have been heroic or inspirational, like Captain America or Spider-Man and stuff. You're not seeing that nowadays. It's all about like the character themselves and the struggle, whatever it is they're going through, instead of them looking beyond themselves and seeing what they can do for others. Because being the hero is you make the sacrifice to help others. You do what you can to help others. And I don't know. Here recently, I don't know. I've been reading, Warren Ellis stuff, and nail biter. And
there's a totally different aspect to it when it is an independently published story with new characters, and when you take and have the darker, more serious Wonder Woman, but then you can pick up her book and see a much lighter tone to her character, even though her book is supposed to be a darker story. She is still kind of like the shining light. So Azzarello has done very well, I think, in instilling this heroic woman in the time of much darkness, but you don't get that in the rest of the DC universe with her. And yeah, I think that's a huge thing right now with comics that I do frankly miss. I mean, Peter Parker was always, he had the Parker luck where he's always striking out with things, but he's looking beyond that and saying, and Dan Slott almost had that with the no more deaths there. Nobody else is going to die on my watch there, and Peter's pushing that. And I like that Slott did that, because you don't have that enough from the heroes right now.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of the only thing that I can kind of think of where some of that is still coming through is maybe this latest storyline of Thor: God of Thunder. There's a little bit of that inspiration and heroism coming through to me in that regard. Maybe it's just the stuff that I'm reading. I don't know. Maybe I've taken a dark turn in my life and I'm not aware of it. But I don't know.
What's your other? You said there were kind of two things.
Well, those two go hand in hand to me.
Hand in hand.
Inspiration and genuine heroism.
Yeah, and just I guess a real quick one, because we don't want to spend too much time on this, is I just more collaboration between creators. It's they too often you have a character acting a certain way in a book that if they read this other story, or if they had any idea of the real history of those characters, they wouldn't act certain ways like that. And you can kind of use a scapegoat with New 52 that they've reset a lot of stuff, so the characters aren't the exact same.
Right.
But you still want to have. I guess it still goes back to this certain ideology or like familiarity of like, this is who the character is, and so that's why I think a lot of the people that they're so upset about the revamp of the New 52, the reboot, is that the characters maybe they aren't familiar with who they are, because they act differently than how they've acted for the past 60 years in some cases. 60 years? Yeah. 75. Yeah.
But guys, and we're not downing comics in general. But sometimes you can just do something for a while, like collect comic books, and not realize the changes that have seeped in over time.
Yeah.
And just become accustomed to it slowly but surely. So guys, log in and tell us below what you feel is missing from comics nowadays. What you miss, some things that you miss that aren't being portrayed or done in comics nowadays. And if you got a moment, tell us some ones that are still hitting the mark for you.
Yeah.
Tell us the ones that are still showing you what you want to see and what you want to feel like when you're reading a comic book. So enough of that, guys. We are moving on to some new #1s hitting the shelf this week. And speaking of inspiration and genuine heroism, let's start off with a new storyline that's going to start off with Superman number 32.
Yeah.
We got the great creative team of Jeff Johns and John Romita Jr. coming on board. This is a big event because Jeff Johns is taking on Superman, and because John Romita Jr. has never done long-term work for DC Comics before. He's always been a Marvel man or doing some independent stuff, but now he's coming on board with DC to do Superman with Jeff Johns, and maybe we'll see a bit more of what we talked about before, is the heroism and other things, other attributes that we should see with a character like a character with Superman. But guys, this series, this storyline is going to introduce a new character named Ulysses, supposedly the Man of Tomorrow.
Ulysses,
thank you. And this is a character that's very, very similar to Superman. He comes from he was rocketed away from his doomed planet, ended up out in the cosmos. I'm not sure if he actually has been on Earth this entire time. This is all DC 52, so it's all kind of new. He could have been there for forever, for all we know.
5 years.
Yeah, at least 5 years.
Maybe.
It's awesome. But guys, also, we'll be looking at Clark Kent, too, in this storyline as well. And it looks like Jeff Johns may see about getting him back to work at the Daily Planet.
That's right.
So, there you go, guys. It's a great jumping on point. The Man of Tomorrow storyline starts with Superman number 32 hitting the shelf this week. Anything else to add, sir?
Sounds good. The other book that's coming out this week that is going to be a pretty big #1 is called Outcast. #1 from Image Comics. Also, it's from Robert Kirkman. There's the big reason why. And Paul Azaceta, sure, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
Hope I said your name right, if you ever watch this. They are bringing you a new horror series, and you know, you have The Walking Dead that Kirkman has done that took off, exploded, red hot. You know, don't touch, will melt you.
Exactly.
And this one here is going to be a horror series that focuses more on demonic possessions, and it takes a look at our main character Kyle Barnes, and Kyle has problems with demonic possessions, has had problems all his life with these, and he is just looking for answers to why this is happening to him. The only problem is that the closer he gets and the answers he may find may spell certain doom for the life on planet Earth. Yeah. So I don't know if he necessarily wants to find those answers. We'll see. But they've been really pushing this from Image here for probably since the beginning of the year, really. So it's finally coming out, and we'll see if it lives up to the hype. It probably will, and it probably will be something that will be gone fairly quickly off the shelves.
I totally agree with you on that. Pre-ordering is your friend. Moving on, guys. I guess they had so much success with the Wolverine series of the same name, they decided to do it with the Hulk. So we have Savage Hulk, #1, hitting the shelf this week, and this is written and drawn by fan favorite artist, one of my favorites, Alan Davis. Awesome artist, and he does a pretty good job in the writing department too. From several things that I've read that I've really enjoyed. But guys, this is a storyline of the Hulk in the past, and his first interactions with the X-Men. And there may even be a connection or a tie between Professor Xavier and Bruce Banner. And we'll be exploring that with Alan Davis here, starting with Savage Hulk #1, hitting the shelf this week. Check it out.
Last one with the #1s here is a one-shot from Dark Horse Comics called The Goon, One for the Road. Now, anybody who's a fan of The Goon, this is The Goon and Frankie, and they meet up with the Sailor. The Sailor is looking for a buddy. I guess they join him in this adventure, and if you know the Goon, if you know Frankie, then you know that when they start hitting the bars, the fit's going to hit the shan. So it's going to be awesome. Eric Powell, one of the best artists in today's industry, and he gives you some pretty fun, funny noir, you know, kooky horror stuff.
Yeah.
So it's good, and this is kind of a precursor to the. I forget the title they have it for it, but the 8-issue miniseries that's going to be The Goon coming out, I think, the following month.
Okay, very cool. So lots of Goon goodness for Goon fans.
Yeah, we've been waiting for it for a while now.
Yeah. Very cool, guys. That's it for the new stuff, the new #1s, the new storyline with Superman 32. Now we're about to move on to our favorites. These are comics that we pick up that are some of our personal favorites, and they're usually at the top of the stack the week they come out. First things for us to read. But before we do that, Randy, did you have one favorite from last week that you would like to point out?
I did, and it's probably not too surprising what was my favorite of the week here. The Wicked and the Divine, #1, was a phenomenal read. This book has the beautiful Jamie McKelvey art, and Gillen was just... At first, I was like, oh, are we going to get a slow burn? But no, he jumped right into it with this story, and you're introduced to Lucy, who, for all intents and purposes, with everything she's describing about herself, you're led to believe, hey, this is the devil, this is Lucifer, and you're led to believe that she has powers. They're talking about all this snapping stuff. They're talking about these deaths, the miracles, whatever that have occurred. And when the gunfire starts and the finger snapping happens, heads explode, and you're going, okay, I know what's happening. Until you get to the courtroom.
Exactly. And
when the finger snapping and the heads exploding happen again, the look of shock and horror on her face leaves you thrown for a total loop, and you're like, what? I want to know what happens next here. So I'm giving a lot of spoilers, but hopefully it's also enticing enough to get you to try to find, if you can, the issue there. Cause it was great. 2 beautiful McKelvey covers, and a very awesome, is it Brian O'Malley, who is Scott Pilgrim fame. He also did a variant cover for their Young Avengers as well. So, splendid. Love this book.
Very good. Guys, for me, I'll have to say the same thing. The Wicked and the Divine. I mean, it was a runoff there with Thor, the latest issue of Thor, and the latest issue of Daredevil. Wrapped up that storyline that was going on with there, but with the Wicked and the Divine, edged it out for me. And like when I've read the last page and what had happened, it was like it's funny because maybe the devil didn't do it. You know?
Yeah, that's exactly. I mean, just she's like, wait, no, whoa. You know, I'm going to do this, and it was. But I love the girl in her. I forget the names here. It's too early to remember many of them. But that she's like, and instantly I knew that she was innocent and stuff. So you're going, okay. So there's this great complex story already.
Yes, exactly. So guys, that's the one you should be checking out. Get a second printing, find a first printing, get the first issue, get the series on your pull list, and get on board with that. Moving on to our favorites, as we've already revealed, there may be some spoilers ahead.
Yeah.
But you'll be okay. You'll make it. You'll make it through the rest of it. Let's start off with one of our mutual favorites.
Yeah.
Which is Saga number 20.
Yeah.
What you got to say about that, my friend?
Terrible, shocking last page reveal of number 19 leads into what they say. Something horrible happens. What horror can happen in this? Because you've already broken hearts, crushed souls with that last page. So I can't imagine how much horrible it can get.
I know. I was just like, no, don't let this happen to this. After everything that's been going on, don't even hint that this is going to happen to them. But with this issue, man, I'm afraid that they just pull the bottom out or something. So, guys, the first 3 trades of this series are on the shelf and available.
Yeah.
You can get those 3, read them, and be pretty much caught up. You still need to get 19 and 20 to be current with everything.
Yeah.
But the way they do things, they're doing like 6 issues, taking a month or 2 off from publishing, putting out the trade, and then resuming the storyline after that latest trade comes out. So if you are thinking about it, they're easy jumping on points to get on board this story. So for your other favorites for the week, what do you want to start off with, sir?
Here's a cool one that's coming out. We have finally, hopefully getting back on track, Justice League number 31 is hitting. And this is cool because this is continuing the building of the new Justice League. It's not going to be instantly, boom, they're all there, which, old issues, that's how it used to take place. This is probably going to be a storyline where it happens. And we're introduced to the new Power Ring in this issue.
Oh, yeah.
So we kind of got an idea of who the girl is that's taking over, but we're getting to see, how she maybe acts with this ring. What is it going to mean for the rest of the Justice League? And I'm also very curious as to, can Luther be heroic, and does he mean what he said? He had the lasso on,
right? And
he told us. Has he found a way to get past it, or is he? I mean, is he sincere? I kind of hope he's sincere in what he said there, because I would like to see Luther trying to prove. He's like, I've proven myself once to be better than Superman. Can he continue to do that?
Right.
We'll see.
And in that case, he doesn't have to be a superhero. I mean, he can still be heroic.
Yeah.
But still be Luther.
But he likes the limelight being on him. And
right.
He's like, I saved you all. Let me bask in your praise.
You're right, exactly. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well. I like that first issue where that happened, so I'm looking forward to that. Moving on, guys, Invincible 112 hits the shelf this week. And if you saw 111, oh, Lord have mercy. Because some major things happened there. A major character died. A major character lost part of their leg. Oh, it was crazy. And with this issue, we're going to see even more of Robot attempting to take over the world, which is what he started with the last issue.
Uh-oh.
It was crazy. It was crazy. That's all I can say. So I'm really looking forward to more of this storyline. And I don't know. Oh man, it's crazy, guys.
I think it's kind of crazy.
111 was a good starting off point. If you haven't been with the series for a while, maybe it took a dip for you or something. But that events have been building up to 111. 111 is like the new direction. So I'm really looking forward to what Kirkman's going to do with this. Seeing if he digs himself into a hole too deep he may not be able to dig himself out of,
Yeah.
or get himself out of some way. So we'll see.
I'll just ask real quickly because I'm not reading it. Is 111 the rape issue? Or was
No,
that 110.
it was 110 or 109. One of
okay,
those.
okay.
It was before.
Yeah, that was kind of classless.
Yeah.
Sorry. Rachel Rising number 26 is coming out here. This has been cool because Rachel's trying to figure out who her killer is, or who her killer was. I don't know. Lots of suspects, but the suspects keep on seeming to disappear. So, maybe the list is getting shorter. I'm not sure. Plus, we have the very creepy Dr. Seaman, who took Aunt Johnny and somehow placed a tracker or a chip or something in her brain, and he's now activating it. And they say that the results of this are both very tender and gruesome.
Oh.
So it's kind of a must-read, don't-miss issue. Guys, pick up the trades on Rachel Rising because this is a phenomenal, terrific story.
Nice.
Love it.
Nice. Moving on for me, guys. Trees, number 2. And I was surprised to see that this is coming out so quickly after number 1. It seems like we just got number 1, which works for me. But guys, again, more of Warren Ellis and Jason Howard telling this story about these large, tree-like alien figures that have just basically implanted themselves into mankind with no explanation, with no communication, no explanation, but just wonder about them. And in this series, with the first issue so far, you saw all kinds of things happen. There's religious cults. There's all kinds of scientific exploration. There may even be a scientific enigma that happened with the end of that last issue that we saw. Was how is that happening? What's causing that to happen? I'm not going to spoil it right now. Maybe later on we talk about it some more. But we're looking at the research station again. There's a new city in China. There's all kinds of things that are converging for a storyline that's going on with this. And I think that this may be a little bit more of a slow burn for Warren Ellis. So you're not probably going to get everything. You're not going to get everything at once, but he's going to tell a story out with this. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely. We have the massive number 24 hitting shelves here from Dark Horse Comics. Love this book. I'm going to give a spoiler here. Maybe this will whet your appetites, whatever there to want to pick this book up. Mary, we've been getting hints that there's something more to her, that her past is finally unraveling here. I have this feeling because last issue started off with like the 1500s, I think, and she was there. They're talking about how pure the water was. She was there. And I had this feeling that she might be Mother Earth. I'm not sure. There's something supernatural to this. So you get more about Mary's story as she's going along in this caravan trying to get the water from point A to point B in the desert. And you also have the capital waiting off the coast of Morocco. And there are some signs starting to happen here that show that the big crash that happened with all the nature may have just been the beginning of things to come here. So I don't know how it could get worse, but it looks like there are signs that it could get worse. So great book with the perennial fallback man, Daniel Zajiel, however you want to say his name, who's doing the art on the book.
Oh yeah, real style and moody there.
Written by Brian Wood.
Last up for me, guys, let's talk about Avengers Undercover number 6 hitting the shelf. If you guys haven't been reading this series, we actually have some bad news.
Yeah.
We found out that what issue is going to be the last?
10.
Issue number 10.
And I think September is the final issue. I hate that.
One
of the best books from Marvel.
We were looking forward to so much more, at least 18 issues like the previous series. But guys, this is a done in one issue. Number 6 is a done in one issue looking at Deathlocket. Deathlocket looking to take out Captain America. I highly doubt it, but I think this is still going to be a great issue. I really want to see the interaction here. I want to see what events are leading up to this, and how exactly she thinks that she even could, if she had to, take out Captain America.
So who's been the one character who said no to everything here so far?
No.
You know, doesn't want to join, doesn't want to go down there, doesn't want to do anything. Who's been that one character?
Oh, hasn't it been Deathlocket?
No. It's been Cammy.
It's been Cammy. Okay.
Cammy.
Okay.
And if you've seen the cover for issue 10, they mention, somebody joining the Masters of Evil, and it shows her with a blade at somebody, and you're like, holy not Cammy.
Oh, dude.
So I don't know, but that's an intense little tidbit there that they're throwing your way. But
nice.
Dennis Hopeless, I hate that they're canceling this.
Yes.
I love. Well, I guess I'm going to say they're canceling this, but I love this book, and I wish there was some way to save this and keep it going on. In this day and age, I just don't think Marvel really listens to people. They listen to the sales numbers, figures, everything. Yeah. Last up for me is Miss Marvel number 5. Right here we have Kamala. She is now setting her sights on New York City.
Okay.
I don't know if New York City is ready for this little Muslim girl. We'll see. I don't know. But that's where she has her sights set, and she is now kind of forming an idea here, a plan to become the next biggest superhero. So I love this book. I think how I say G. Willow Wilson. Thank you. You just like breathed this amazing life into this character, and she's so lovable. She reminds me of Molly from Runaways almost. So it's that kind of endearing spirit that she has.
Very cool.
Love it.
Guys, that's it for this week. We've covered a lot of stuff. There's all this stuff that we talked about and so much more still hitting the shelf. And please take our advice and pre-order stuff. Even when you see this video, there may still be time for you to call us if we're your local comic shop or your local comic provider and get some of this stuff put onto your pull list when it hits the shelf on Wednesday. And you won't want to miss some of this stuff. If you can get Outcast, don't miss that. Don't miss that. Don't miss out on the new Superman storyline hitting the shelf. And hey, Jamie Henry, I saw your comment, and I'm glad that you picked up the new series of Daredevil and you enjoyed those first 4 issues. I know that I have been. I've been really digging it. And Robot Human, I saw your comment asking what we thought concerning The Wicked and the Divine, and if it was better than all those other new #1s that have come out, like Southern Bastards and Trees and all that. We may address that in the next video, give you a little bit more information concerning that, because I just sprung that on Randy. I don't know if he may not have seen that, but
no, I haven't. But it's better than Southern Bastards easily for me, way easily better. Trees, it's probably better than Trees so far with its first issue.
Yeah, I mean, the whole tone sets it apart.
Yeah,
for me. So yeah. So guys, there we go. And that's a great point. There's still tons of other #1s and stuff that you just check out. You may still be able to get the first issues of. But guys, that's it for this week. Again, he's always Randy. I'm always Chris. We are Excalibur Comics, Cards, and Games here in Shreveport, Louisiana, and in Texarkana, Texas. Stop by the shop, guys. We've had some major changes and I would say improvements to the shop with our back issue selection. Randy's been working hard and tirelessly to get that set up and filed and organized like it needs to be. It looks great and people are already loving it. So kudos to you, sir. Great work. But guys, that's it for this week's episode. Log in, leave a comment below, answer the question of the week, tell us your favorites from last week, what you're most looking forward to for this week. And until next time, guys, take care, be safe, read great comics, and we'll see you in the next video.